I have not thought about the research-prone duo over at Video Game Storytime, but my week is going to be busy, and I don't just mean with tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. Last month, they uploaded a video about Geno, and I am certain it's going to be full of bologna, as usual. Let's get started.
Remember Geno? He's back, in Mii form. Again. Originally introduced as a costume for the Mii Fighter in Super Smash Bros. 4 on the Wii U and 3DS.
Super Smash Bros. 4, never played that one.
Geno had been missing from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. With the release of Sephiroth as part of the Fighter's Pass Volume 2, Geno's costume is making a return. While it's nice to see Geno get some love in Smash, many Super Mario RPG fans are disappointed that the character isn't getting the full fighter treatment.
And why should he? Again, I'll bet they won't even bother to explain. They think that everyone thinks alike. That's the whole Nintendo fanboy mantra apparently. This character in particular appeared in one game in 1995 with another character's name in the title. And then he appeared in another game without Square Enix's permission.
This frustration is understandable, and from the sounds of it, Masahiro Sakurai feels your pain. He's been pushing for Geno to get a more significant role in Smash for years.
So what is stopping him? Sephiroth was a completely tone-deaf decision, considering there is no opportunity for the product to make money with him, but at least with Geno, it's extremely obvious.
When the Geno costume was originally added to Smash 4, Sakurai was asked why such an old, mostly forgotten character had been referenced in the game. He said, "To tell the truth, it's because I wanted Geno to be a playable character. He has a gun for a hand, and I think he fits in really well with Smash."
Wow, how unique. A gun for a hand?
During Brawl, I thought it would be great if I could add him, but in the end it didn't become a reality. He's very popular. When talking about older characters, Geno always gets a lot of requests. He didn't appear as a fighter, but I was able to achieve something kind of close to that as a Mii costume.
He is not popular at all. If you can only manage to gather 400-500 fans online that personally want him as a playable character, what percentage of that is out of 10, 15, 20 million actual customers? Or how about customers from his own series? Oh, he doesn't have one. If we're talking about 500 diehards that would otherwise get all the DLC character anyway, then what do you mean by very popular? Because there are other franchises that yet to have a character in Smash Bros. They have been around for decades, they've sold tens of millions of copies and branched out into movies. And I am sure if that character was announced for Smash Bros., it's going to make far more money than Geno. I made a whole nother video on this. Sakurai have been a Nintendo employee for decades and know this more than me.
Alas, as Sakurai has recently pointed out, he doesn't always get his way when selecting new Smash characters. He said, "When thinking about new fighters for this game, we don't just pick my favorites or draw from a hat. More often than not, these discussions start by Nintendo approaching me with an idea. Of course, if I can't do that idea justice, I'll tell them no."
Bullshit, lady. This is straight up, lie to your face, bullshit. I don't want to sound like a broken record. We've been here time and time again. For a Nintendo consultant or executive to actually be behind these DLC choices, we would actually notice a different theme or pattern. Now if a Nintendo figurehead actually came in and said, "We want this to be the most successful product possible," then having Byleth doesn't make sense. Having Min Min doesn't make sense. Having a second character from Final Fantasy doesn't make sense. Having Banjo-Kazooie absolutely doesn't make sense. Characters that make sense are characters that would sell more copies of the game. Every fighting game developer does this. They acquire the biggest guest character they can so that they can help sell their game. You'd think with Nintendo, however, you could get Leon Kennedy, Lara Croft, an Assassin's Creed protagonist, Scorpion, characters that already have large fanbases, because Byleth doesn't give you that. These look exactly like the character choices that Sakurai has always been fond of. There is nothing different with how these characters have been chosen. How many other ways can I prove this man is a liar?
So no matter how popular Geno may be, and no matter how much Sakurai himself might want to include him as a full fighter in Smash, this isn't likely to happen unless the higher-ups at Nintendo really want to see it happen.
Nobody should still expect Geno at this point. Even if Nintendo brass actually was choosing this DLC, lol, what does Geno offer that makes him worth the investment? Why would he even be worth it for Square Enix?
That is particularly unlikely, considering that the company is actively moving away from traditional role-playing games set inside the Mario universe,
Now you're making shit up.
and doesn't seem eager to revisit their collaboration with Square Enix. According to Kensuke Tanabe, director of Super Mario the Origami King, since Paper Mario's Sticker Star, it's no longer possible to modify Mario characters or to create original characters that touch on the Mario universe. This change in approach for Mario RPGs comes straight from Shigeru Miyamoto, who has actively discouraged game designers from putting stories in their games. According to Tanabe, there were two main things that Miyamoto-san said from the start of Sticker Star.
What does this have to do with Geno?
It's likely that Miyamoto is opposed to characters like Geno, who expand the Mario world, because they stray from his specific vision for the franchise. Hence why the Paper Mario series is deliberately shown to be separate from the traditional Mario canon.
Or as I said earlier, Geno is owned by Square Enix, and Nintendo cannot use the character as they see fit. They never mentioned this, by the way, even though it was said by Sakurai in the same Famitsu column they got a quote from, so they're lying here, and they pretty much know it.
Not to pile on Miyamoto, but he has also had similar conversations with Yoshiaki Koizumi. The two of them have often butted heads when it comes to storytelling in games, and Miyamoto is generally unimpressed when Koizumi tries to expand the lore of the Mario universe. A character like Geno stands in stark opposition to the simple, clearly defined direction that the Mario series has taken in recent years.
What are you talking about? Geno is a one-off character. The Mario universe is replete with one-off characters.
Meanwhile, Yoshihiko Miyakawa, director of Super Mario RPG, has said that he's in no hurry to try and revisit this universe. He said, "Actually, I don't feel like I want to return to that world and use those characters in another game. I feel like I was able to accomplish what I wanted to with that world and those characters and the gameplay ideas that come out of those, and now I mostly feel like I want to make something different."
Way to take his quote out of context. He's not talking about RPGs, he's talking about his own projects, where every Mario game has a different theme, cast of characters, etc. I honestly don't get what the issue is here. It's always been like that. The Super Mario RPG plot was never intended to be revisited. Most Final Fantasy plots are like this too.
So, with Nintendo remaining apprehensive about bringing Geno back into the spotlight, or adding new characters to Mario RPGs in general, it's unsurprising that the company has rejected Sakurai's pleas to get Geno into Smash.
This unmarketable character isn't acceptable, but this one is. Makes complete sense, man.
Thus, if you're disappointed that Geno is only available as a Mii Fighter costume, bear in mind that Sakurai.
Look, it's the flavor of the month. Are you going to tell us how special Activision's relationship with Nintendo is? Just because they have the same game that the PS5 and Xbox have?
Is trying his best. This costume might not be what you've been hoping for, but it's something.
Yeah, about that, why would Nintendo be okay with Resident Evil Spirits and Assassin's Creed Mii outfits, all while a character who sold less than 7 million copies in over 20 years is a playable character? I'd love to have her explain that one day.
That's the moral of this story. You won't always be able to have everything you want in life, but that's okay. Things do feel a little bit better in that moment where we're appreciating the things that we do have.
It's friendship. Right? Friendship. And other farcical garbage like that.